do a follow-up after I installed the humidifier. We'll give a little bit of time for a couple people to join in, and in the meantime I will display a photo and let you guys decide if a G51 MP Lennox gas furnace, you really cannot pull burner or flame sensor, so don't try. Alright, well, I didn't get any post installation excuse me. I didn't get any post installation video. I packed up my stuff and got out of there before I remembered that I said I was going to show some video of the final product, but had a couple of pictures I wanted to show you of this furnace. It was a G51 MP Lennox 90% in the horizontal left position, and the note that I've got on the screen now is written there on the burner box, and it says, "Cannot pull burner or flame sensor, so don't try." I know I've serviced plenty of G51s, and I don't know that I've ever run into one that I couldn't get the burners out of. I wasn't there for a maintenance, so I didn't bother to prove them wrong, but I beg to differ that it's impossible or not worth trying to get the burners out. I ran across some disturbing rust displayed here. That is on the bottom of the furnace where the gas valve or the gas piping comes in, and that leakage appears to be coming from the exhaust cap on that optional side vent if it was in an upflow position. And once again, since I wasn't in it for much more than adding the humidifier, I didn't dig into it to see what was going on, but a 2008 really should not be leaking in that area at all. I got another photo here that I'll show you of the actual drain connection. If you're familiar with the G51 series Lennox 90% furnace, this would be the drain that would be on the right side of the unit if the unit was in a downflow position and you were connecting the drainage there. That's where it's connected, and there's more evidence of water leakage there. I got one more photo that'll probably be pretty poor, but there's evidence of, water dripping off of the box itself. So the only thing I can figure is it may be the seals where that box mounts are not in very good shape. Anyway, so I got the humidifier installed. I added a transformer and put in an isolation relay so that it will only run the humidifier in heating. And I guess I've got a bit of a question. When you install standard or basic humidifiers that come with just the standard dial control for the humidistat, do you do anything other than an isolation relay to try to give the humidifier the option of bringing on humidity and bringing on the blower for a standard bypass humidifier to add humidity even in the off cycle when the system's not heating? I know a lot of the more modern controls, that is an option built into the controls, but with a basic humidistat, you'd have to do some additional wiring with relays to try to get that system to run. And I'm curious how many of you go through the trouble of getting that option available. And if you do, can you hook me up with a wiring diagram for the relays and the way you would set them up so that you could control humidity based on need rather than only when the system is heating? We've got another humidifier install, as I understand, tomorrow, Tuesday, February 9th. And, we're not offering anything other than the basic humidifier as the promotional offer, but it would be nice to be able to add that control option after the fact without too much extra trouble. And the other thing I wanted to sort of shoot out there and see what you guys do was when you run a bypass humidifier or a powered humidifier, anything other than a steam humidifier, do you run cold water or do you tie in to a warm or hot water line to get a little bit more efficiency out of that humidifier? And do you think it's worthwhile to tie into a hot line other than a cold line, rather than a cold line? There is, some potential drawback to running on a hot water line. You're going to have that, pulling hot water off of the tank, which really should be extremely minimal, but you have the potential of, adding a little bit of cost to the customer by having the hot water come on during maybe a longer run cycle or whatever. But do you see a drawback to doing hot water in that it would degrade the humidifier pad more regularly or anything in that line? I got word back from the Ample Storage property manager about dealing with the leaking refrigerant line from Friday's live stream. He said that they'd like to go ahead and do the work, but they have to contact the tenant of the storage space below the roof penetration to see if they can get authorization to access his storage unit so that we can get to that piping. So at this point it's an interesting job, hopefully not too aggravating. Figure I'll try to do some live stream when we go back on that. Trying to keep these to a fairly reasonable length so that I'm not pulling too much data all at once anyway. And there was some comment on the hour-long stream that I had done Friday that an hour-long stream is just way too long. So I guess what I might do is just do summaries in shorter clips, but try to do them live so that you guys can enjoy the mayhem that might ensue. But anyway, right now I'm headed back to the shop to drop off some trash and pick up my paycheck that I didn't get a handle on until today. I'll come back in and, you know, broadcast live when I run across something or have something to talk about. It's going to be difficult for me to do a scheduled stream. You know, every day is a little bit different, and I don't always have time in the morning, or, you know, I could do a drive home vlog or something, but you know, trying to do a scheduled streaming broadcast could be difficult. And you know, part of the reason that the live stream is so convenient is actually that I can get some videos out without too much background trouble. The videos may be lower quality because I don't have as much post-production, adjustment, editing, and whatnot, but makes it easy. Shoot a vlog, and it automatically posts when the vlog is finished. So I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. If you do, leave a comment letting me know you'd like me to do more. If you want me to do more streams out in the field, it would be really beneficial, very helpful if you could at least consider supporting the channel or hit up my Patreon, patreon.com/Stephen Rardon. You can do, you know, one-time donation or a recurring small donation. I don't want to go to a paid channel simply because then you can't get to it without paying, but it would be helpful if we could try to cover some of the costs of live streaming and the data that I'm burning up. But anyway, I'm going to cut this one off. We're about 13 minutes, and we'll look forward to giving you some more live streams down the road. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Consider supporting the channel, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.